All right, everyone, we are live. Welcome to Office Hours with Arrow, a LinkedIn Live event hosted by Arrow leaders who care about what senior living looks like. I'm your host and producer, Rachel Sheehan. Our topic today is all about one of my favorite topics, social media. And I'm so excited. Sorry to everyone else who's been on here before, but this is the best topic. So we're going to get started. I'm so excited who I have here with me today. First, Shannon, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, obviously. Hi, guys. I'm Shannon Novak. I'm the Senior Managing Director of Marketing. I don't know if I should tell everyone this. I'm personally terrible at social media, but I love it. And I love coaching and helping our teams to get better than I am at it.
I love it. And what shirt are you wearing today?
Oh my gosh. I'm wearing one of my favorites and my name's blocking it. Hold on. Let me stand up. I'm wearing What Senior Living Looks Like, which is our official senior living hashtag that we started back in 2019. And then this was our recruiting team shirt from a couple of years ago.
I love it.
It's also got pictures on the back, but I'm not going to show you those.
That's perfect. And then everyone else that's here, our lovely resident services team. So we have 4 different resident services directors. So Caroline, you want to tell us where you're at?
Yeah, I'm Caroline. I'm the resident services director at the Summit, which is in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Awesome. Jill?
Hi, I'm Jill Pulowski. I am at Vitalia Strongsville, which is a little suburb of Cleveland, Ohio.
Amazing. Heather?
Hi, I'm Heather Maxson. I am the Resident Services Director at the Parkway Senior Living in Blue Springs, Missouri.
Amazing. And last but not least, Libby.
Hi, I'm Libby Kiesler. I am the Resident Experience Coordinator based out of Iowa, and I'm primarily at Rock Creek Senior Living in Ankeny.
Very cool. I'm so excited y'all are here today. So we're going to start just talking through what senior living looks like Shannon shirt said. Oh, also, a lot of us are wearing our Arrow Strong, hashtag Arrow Strong shirts, which is more of our employee hashtag. But what senior living looks like is kind of a hashtag. I don't know. Shannon, did you come up with it? Amanda?
I can't remember. I think Amanda came up with the idea that we obviously needed our own hashtag because why wouldn't we, you know? And then it was lots of workshopping to decide what words should be in the hashtag and how to make it the most efficient and concise. So naturally it's like 5 words long, which is super efficient. But at this point, like when I think back to all of our struggles at the beginning, trying to figure it out, I'm like, well, of course it's that. What else could it have been? So yeah, we've been working with this hashtag for 5 years. And it has really grown and been super awesome from when we started it and we weren't really sure how to use it to now it's just a natural part of our posts every day.
Yeah. And I love that because it's something I mentioned in our intro for this office hours every week. But resident services really is the one who shows what senior living looks like because you all are the ones taking the pictures and posting them for the world to see. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the why behind social media, because when I explain to people what my job is and I mention TikTok, they're always like, why would a senior living community or company have TikTok? Like, I don't understand. I'm like, go look at it and you will see. So I just would love for each of you resident services directors to tell us like what is the why behind our social media? I don't know. Anybody have something they want to add?
Oh, I can let you start if you wanted to. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I think the why is there's so many whys. It's, to me, most importantly, is to allow the families to see what's going on with their loved ones every single day. So they know mom and dad aren't sitting in their room. They see them out. They see them enjoying life and living their best life.
Yeah, I love that. Caroline, what were you going to add?
I was going to say basically the same thing. The residents' family and friends love to see our social media. One of my favorite things is when I post pictures and I see family members specifically loving the photos of their mom or dad. Because, they love seeing them do fun things. And the residents get excited when their family sees them too. So
I love that. Heather, Libby, do you have any examples or things to add for that?
I think that mine is just trying to break the stigma of moving into a senior living community that, we're not just a nursing home that plays bingo 5 times a week and that's all we do. We're, out going to casinos, and we're, doing plays and going to recording studios and having, picnic in the park and all kinds of things. So just to break that stigma, even to people in my own life, my own family and friends that are like, oh my gosh, this is what you do at work all day. It's so fun. So I think just breaking that stigma to the public that seniors are awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think it helps them stay connected too. Like when they go to church and their church friends are like, "Oh, I saw you were playing chair beach ball. I didn't know you did stuff like that." And they get to kind of share those stories and experiences that, this isn't a place where they mope around. They're having fun and making memories. You're never too old to make memories.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfectly said. You guys hit on exactly what I was thinking. Like the family aspect for me is number one. Like we want them to stay connected, but also defying those stereotypes is huge for me because I think that's something we could easily, I mean, they love their bingo, but there's so much more to senior living than that. But Shannon, do you want to touch too on like the marketing aspect of things as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, everything you guys just said really feeds into my answer of the fact that the stigma exists everywhere. So even people like, we still have the stigma of, I put my mother in a home. Like I hate that phrase and it makes me cringe to say it, but that is still out there. And so people are like, oh, your mom's going into a home. And it's like, no, my mom is going into senior living where she is actually going to do more fun things on a daily basis than I do and have more experiences and learn more things. And it's just like, and it's the same when we're looking at employees, going back to the shirt, because a lot of this is a quote from Amanda Tweeten when she was first joining, our COO, that senior living isn't sexy. Well, senior living, I am not here to say whether or not it's sexy, but I can tell you what it is that it is so much more than what your average, 17, 18, 20-year-old is going to think it is, because that stigma exists at all ages where, old people are boring. Old people don't have anything else to offer. And so this is showing like to every one of those people that might stumble across, I'm going to give away something upcoming, a TikTok of residents at a casino. It's showing them in different ways. Like, no, these are amazing, full people doing amazing, cool things. And I could one day get to dress up in a bee costume at work just because it's, a Wednesday. Like so from a marketing aspect, it is one of our greatest tools in showing what senior living looks like in a real and true way. And it's honest because it is literally the content coming from the communities, coming from you guys. So it is not us staging photos of,
Right.
People from iStock and being like, look how much fun these people are probably having. So it's one of our greatest, and it's a free tool, even better for marketing.
Yeah, and that's something exactly like what you said about it's not stock photos. Like the authenticity of our marketing materials comes from you guys, the resident services team, which is just huge. And so that's why we have this standard of like, we have our teams post 3 times a week at least. I know you all post more than that because you're amazing and always just seeing what's going on in your communities. And I think some people shy away maybe from social media because, oh, our residents aren't on that. But now more and more are. And even if they're not, their families are, or those other people that we want to show what senior living looks like, as Shannon said, for the employee standpoint, like it's a great recruiting tool too. So that's another piece of it. But I'll get off my
sorry,
go ahead.
Or jump in. We do have residents who are actively commenting, and we have past residents. Like I know there's some residents from one of our community, they moved away and they are still commenting, probably from all the communities. I'm just thinking of one, but they are still commenting because this is also an opportunity. Like they needed to move for whatever reason, but their friends are still there. So they're getting to see their friends too every day. And they're still coming in and commenting after being gone. And that's super cool. Like I love that for the people in the community and that ability to stay connected in a new way. At one point their friends move and then that's just kind of it, except for maybe a phone call here and there. So this is an active way, and they are on there. When our Nicely News anchor goes into a community, he is mobbed by people who know him because they watch the Nicely News, which we're not talking about that today, but they, our residents really are there. And something I forgot is that our social media photos are feeding our other pieces. It's not just social media. We're using those photos on the websites now, we use them on mailers. Like the photos they are extended, their lives are extended beyond just that one platform too, which has been really cool to be able to do that pivot and phase out stock photos.
Yeah, I love it. Very cool. So I want to get into, because Shannon had to mention the casino TikTok. So we have to bring this up because this is recent. And Caroline, your TikTok is now at 8.7 million views, which blows my mind because that's just crazy for us. And I've had friends who are like, when I posted it on my Facebook, they're like, I saw that on my For You page and I didn't know that was you guys. And I'm like, yeah. So it's just been so exciting. So Caroline, I want you to talk about your viral TikTok, tell everyone what it was and how you thought of it, or, the process behind it.
So a few weeks ago, took the residents to the casino, which was actually an outing they requested. So we were really anticipating it. And leading up to it, I started seeing that trend where, people would go to the casino and they'd say like, how much are you going to win today? And it'd be like a before and after of what they actually won. So when we were loading up the bus, I pulled up an example and showed all the residents who were going. And I was like, I think it would be really fun if we made just a silly little video like this. And just see what happened. And they were all really excited about it. They watched it, they were laughing, thought it was so funny. And we had a bit of a drive to get there. So the whole way there, they were talking about what they were going to say when it was their turn for the video, which is really fun to hear from the driver's seat. But when we got there, just as we were getting off the bus, we took the video. I asked them all, how much are you going to win today? And they told me, and then the results were so funny because none of them were even close to what they guessed, but they still had so much fun. So that doesn't matter. But then Rachel helped me put the TikTok together and we posted it, and it completely blew up, and we were not expecting that at all. It was just something fun we did, just, something silly to show we were having fun at the casino. And then 8.7 million people watched it. And, the residents were so excited about, going viral. They asked me every day for new updates, like how many views do we have now? What are we up to? Some of them who are in the video made me show them how to make a TikTok, like log in so that they could share the video with their families. So they were telling me like, my niece in California watched the TikTok. She texted me last night, said she saw me on TikTok. I'm a celebrity now. So it was really fun. And I think, I don't know, it just, like y'all were saying, it showed that, what senior living really looks like. They like to go to the casino and have fun. We don't just play bingo every single day. So it was really fun.
I love that. And I love what you said too about like, we had no idea it was going to blow up, because here's the truth to anybody watching. We do not know the secret sauce. We do not understand the algorithm. Like, it is hit or miss. Like, there are videos I put together and I'm like, oh, this is going to be one. This is going to get so many views. And then it gets like 500 views, but then there's others like Caroline's. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. I hope people love it. And then you throw it out there and 8 million views later, 8.7, I can't let that go. So 8.7 million views later and so many followers. And also, Caroline, I don't know how much you know about, like, I've read every comment because I was just obsessed with how it was going. And people literally were like, they knew your community was in Arkansas. So they're like, you're in Arkansas, I'm applying now, or whatever. Or they're like, I wish you were in Ohio. And I can be like, well, we are, because for those of you watching, all of our TikToks are through our main company account. So it's not like each individual. Our Facebook pages and our Instagram are each individual. There's one for the summit and Caroline runs it. There's one for Strongsville, Jill runs. But for TikTok, we stream it all through one, because also that's a lot on you guys if you had to make videos all the time or whatever. It's just kind of at least I wasn't around when it was born, or I wasn't on the marketing team, but my understanding, Shannon, is it probably started just to be fun and have good content. So if you want to talk about that.
It was just a dream to try it out. And so at first we were posting like, not as often. We had someone creating videos for us that was really helpful. But we didn't get a lot of content. It was a struggle to get, 3 posts a week ourselves, even though that was our goal. And so we were using a lot of different things like clips from our D&I, which that's another topic we're not getting into today, but it came down to things like that. And now, we have so much content that Rachel can't keep up with making and posting it. And I certainly can't keep up with like proofing and reviewing and supporting for her, because that's another trick is everybody, I strongly believe everybody needs a proofer, because when you are in the middle of something, it looks a certain way and a different set of eyes changes it. So we don't go through a huge proofing process, but we do offer support to each other to be like, okay, look at this, or this line doesn't quite match what they said, or just like little things, because we do want to, for anyone that needs those captions, we want people to be able to read what is actually happening and know what's really being said. So we are very strict about making sure our captions match. But I also want to mention something else Caroline said, which was that her residents were actively involved in having fun, because that is so important in having an authentic and a good social media. Is if your residents don't want to be involved in it, they don't understand why, they don't like, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be authentic. It's going to be painful. And you guys can talk more about that. Please take it over. But Caroline getting her residents involved in that in the very beginning and making it fun for them is a huge part of why it ended up looking as cool as it did, because they wanted to do it.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if anyone wants to comment on how you get residents excited, please take that away.
Anyone? Libby, go for it.
I know. I showed some of the residents here that video, and they're like, "What's TikTok?" Well, some of them called it TikTok, and so like I showed them, and that's just a world they didn't even know existed. So they're like, "We want to do something like that," and it got them excited, seeing what it's all about, and just kind of seeing the world that millennials and stuff and such are running. So I think that's a way. It's just showing them what it is before doing it, as Caroline said she did with her peeps.
Yeah, and you've done great TikToks too. I know recently we posted the one of your resident adopting the cat. It was super cute, and people love that. But I do want to say that's something, this trend is kind of new to us, because truthfully, we haven't done them, partially because Shannon and I just don't know the trends, let's be honest. But Caroline brought this to us. And so we're like, yeah, this is great. This looks great. But also, as Shannon said, like making sure your residents are part of it and we're not exploiting them in any way or doing something to them. It's like with them, they're a part of it. But I want to talk about, normally our strategy is more heartwarming, interview life stories kind of thing. So Caroline's not the only one who went viral here. So I want to talk a little bit about Jill. A couple years ago, Jill, your video, which I would love for you to talk about, went viral. And it went viral in a way like where it was, I mean, you could talk about it, but it went on all these different platforms. So tell us a little bit about that.
So a few years ago, we were given the task during Be Kind to Humankind Week to find residents who maybe they did something nice for someone or someone did something nice for them. So I came across our residents, Frank and Dee, and Frank was a World War II veteran. He was there for the Battle of the Bulge, and he actually took a flight from here to Washington. I think it was, 15 years ago or something. And during that flight, they were given these letters that elementary school kids wrote for them. And so when I'm asking him this question, do you know have anything nice done to you? He literally like lifts up a cheek and pulls out this letter. And it was this letter from this little girl that she gave him when he was on this flight. So it said, oh, thank you so much for fighting for our freedom. And, it was just a cute picture that she had drawn on there. And he said, oh, yeah, I really wish I knew where she was. We tried to call the school and it's closed. And I really wish I knew what happened to her. So my brain went off and I was like, I'll see if I can find her, because her first name and last name was on this piece of paper. She had signed it. So I got on social media and started stalking, and I found a girl with the same name on Instagram. She looked about what would be, her age now. So I just took a shot and sent her a DM and was like, hey, my name's Jill. I live at the senior living, work at the senior living community in Ohio, and I have a resident who got a letter. Did this happen to be you for any chance? Just wondering. If not, sorry to bother you. And in 2 days, she responded and she said, yes, that's me. And I still have the letter that they sent me. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, I just took the chance. So long story short, we got together and decided to surprise Frank and have her come here. Well, little to my knowledge, she is now in the military. And it was, oh, I'm going to cry thinking about it. She decided to come and we surprised Frank and Dee. So I set it up where I'm like, hey, Frank, I have somebody coming in to interview you about being in the war. And she walked in with flowers and he immediately said, that's not the girl. And everybody was crying and I got it all on video. And my purpose to get it on video was just to have that memory for Frank and Dee, have the memory for their family. And I made my own little video through like Apple Movie and, posted it on Facebook. And then Rachel turned around and turned it into a TikTok. And again, it went viral. Dr. Pimple Popper reposted it. Jamie Lee Curtis reposted it. I was like, oh my gosh, we're like famous. It was crazy. But it was super heartwarming. And I never in a million years had planned to, I didn't know anything about TikTok at the time. I thought it was a kid's thing. I wasn't really familiar. I'm the old one of this bunch. So I was totally clueless, but it was pretty awesome. And then we ended up, after they went viral, and I don't even know how many it was, Rachel, so many billion, that we did another video and we said, Frank and Dee, can you believe your video? This many people are watching it. And their faces were just like, billion? Like they couldn't believe it. It was so awesome. But it was very heartwarming. It was an amazing experience. I can't believe it happened. I can't believe I was able to find this girl, but it happened. And I'm grateful for being able to do that for them.
Yeah, and I have to say, the credit does not go to me. I didn't make that one. We used to have someone else. So that's the thing. So kind of with our TikTok journey, it was like one day I was like, Shannon, I think I can make these, And so I've been starting to make some of ours. So yeah, but you constantly, you just thought to do that and thought to take that as a memory to them. And I think you do that all the time because you've done that with our centenarian birthdays. You do it with just like your happy hours. And that's something Jill is amazing. You would be an amazing news reporter because she goes live. She goes live on Facebook at her events and shows the event. And then sometimes we just take that video and put it as a TikTok. So those have been awesome too. You constantly, we usually ask resident services, hey, send us like one thing a month. And Jill sends me stuff like every week for TikTok.
I don't use this, but
yeah, I know. And that's great because videos are always great. So I have a lot to catch up on from content from you still. So
thank you.
But that's awesome. And I just love that. Yeah, very cool. And Shannon, you were more involved with that whole viral thing. That one's hard to track because it ended up on those other platforms. People were taking the video and reposting it. Kelly Clarkson show was on, like all those things. I don't know, Shannon, if you have anything to add.
Yeah, they ended up on CBS, the Kelly Clarkson show. Like they received gifts from all over the world. Like it was this really crazy month that I still can't process how, it was more than a month. I just read a comment that said month. I'm sorry. But like, I cannot process how any of that happened. But the one thing, because I talk about this, I do a leadership training every month. And I talk about this on there because the important part of this, like it was so cool. That experience, the going viral, all of that was so cool. But my favorite part is, and will remain forever, the fact that it was literally like, this is the reason why we have our teams do social media and we ask for these challenges, because it was literally Jill had a question to ask and she took that question as like her own personal challenge and elevated it to the next level. And like when we asked for video, we wanted her to use it, obviously, like capture this memory. This is really cool. But also because we wanted to put it in the Nicely News. Like our idea was, let's put it in the Nicely News where, I think our viewership should be higher, but it's like a couple hundred people or 1,000 people see our Nicely News. There was never a world where I was like, this is going to be a majorly viral TikTok that's going to be everywhere. And so, we wanted to capture a sweet moment and it went bigger, but had we, as Arrow Home Office, had we been trying to put that together, like we could not have captured that or put that together in the way that Jill, being boots on the ground in that community with her brain working the way it does, Like there's no way we could have done that without her. And so we put a lot, like it is very important to us keeping social media at our communities. And I know not everyone agrees with that, but we like without you guys, there is no social media because you guys are the ones seeing your residents, and if we can't train you and support you to improve so that residents, families and friends and stuff are seeing these posts, then we're not like, to us, we're not doing our jobs because you guys are the ones.
Yeah.
You're the ones. So I feel like we haven't jumped in to bother Heather yet and ask her questions. And
I know, that's what I was
way too long, so we got to get there.
I know, if we go over, it's fine. But Heather, I wanted to segue that way because, Jill, like I said, she sends me so much content. I don't know what to do with it sometimes. But with Heather, I know you've expressed before that social media is really not your thing, yet you've created great stuff or sent me great stuff, like the Taylor Swift video and different things. Talk about your experience.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a social media guru. I don't even have a TikTok. So I can literally just take the videos and send them to Rachel. So it is kind of intimidating sometimes just because Caroline and Jill have a lot more experience in that realm than I do. But I just kind of, ask Rachel for, hey, what would be, something this month or what is a trend? And then Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce thing were a big deal during the Super Bowl. So we were just having a big Super Bowl week and everyone was already in their Chiefs stuff. And so I was just like, hey, who wants to talk to me about Taylor Swift? And we had some very vocal residents that wanted to talk about her. And so it's just fun. They're all in their Chiefs gear and then they want to watch the video clips of what I'm sending Rachel. And then when she makes the TikTok, they want me to show them the TikTok of them. So then they can show their friends and grandkids. And it's just a really great time. We also did a Dipmas one that was super fun with we had 20 some dips for Dipmas and everyone introduced their dips. And that was more of an employee one, but the residents got to vote on which dips they liked. And so it turned out really great. And yes, if I can do it and I don't even have a TikTok, then anyone can do it.
I love that. And I think that's what this is about. Like anybody listening, you could start this for your company. But yeah, that's great, Heather. Thank you. And then, I like to mention too, how we mentioned a couple times, how you all manage your own pages. Like, yes, my job is to check them and make sure everything's up to standard across our company, but you get to post. So Olivia, I want you to talk about that. Like, when you came into this, I don't honestly remember, maybe you didn't post as much as you do now, but your page now is like flawless, amazing pictures, posting 10 plus times a week, I swear, and showing off everything. So, talk about that and maybe, how it led to your new role.
Yeah. So starting, like you said earlier, we are asked to post 3 times a week. So I was just hitting that and it turned into, oh, my son out in Colorado saw my picture. How did he see that? And then, I'd show them the Facebook and then it turned into families reaching out like, I never see my mom on your Facebook. Can you post her more? And so, of course, sometimes it's, oh, your mom didn't really want her photo taken today. So, of course, we try to protect their dignity and such. And then, I don't know, just kind of turned into wanting to share everything they do. And the residents want to post. I have one resident, when I come up to him with my camera, he always goes like this because he knows time to smile. So whenever I post them, you see him going like this and they get excited to be posted and to hear from their church friends and out of community friends of that they're seeing what they're doing and that they're still having fun and getting new experiences and learning new things. And so just kind of not posting necessarily for the views or anything like that, but just so that they can stay connected with their friends and family and share all the cool things that they still get to experience.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. Like, we don't do it for the views. Like, yes, we talked about marketing a little bit, but like the main thing is just capturing these stories and getting great photos of our residents. And there's just so much more we could talk about. I think you guys are going to have to come back and we're going to have to do another one because this has been great. And we did have one question before we left. I will just answer this real quick. But Elizabeth asked, do you do anything for Women's History, which actually just one of our social media campaigns. So we do various campaigns throughout the year, and one of them is Her Story, which is showing those kind of telling the story of a woman in one of our memory care communities and doing a TikTok on them, doing a something we can post on the main page, just to share their story. So that is something we do. And yeah, I think we could talk about all our campaigns another time. We've got this. Shannon, go ahead.
I just have to add to that. So one of the, part of the breaking the stereotype and showing is a lot of people the same thing. You look at dementia and you're like, oh. And what we're aiming for with Her Story, and honestly, we're aiming for every day in our memory care neighborhoods is, dementia is a diagnosis, and it's not one anybody wants to hear, but having it as, you have so much life and you left, and there's so much joy, regardless of a diagnosis. And what we love in Her Story is that we get to show who they are, and we get to tell that story in a way that, whether they can still tell it or not, like, it is an important story, because one of our cores is we love telling stories. We want our residents' stories to live on because they are important and they are amazing, and they are continuing to live an amazing life, and they have lived an amazing life. And so the Her Story campaign really gives us that opportunity to remind people that, a person is more than a diagnosis, no matter what the diagnosis is. So I just really, that's one of my favorite campaigns, and like talking about it makes my heart feel all the things, and like it makes me want to cry a little bit because I love it so much. But yeah, it's just one of our campaigns, but it is a really close to my heart, like important campaign that I never want to end. So
love it. Well, for those watching, if you want to follow along at Arrow Senior Living on TikTok, we would love to have you. And I think we did it today, ladies. I think we have to come back and talk more, but definitely thank you all for being here. For those of you watching, we will be back next week with a different topic at 12:30 Central. And then, yeah, I think that's it. So everyone, have a great day. Thank you so much.